Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Della Brigiana. My student ID is 194010014. I will explain about professionalism at work, business etiquette, teamwork, and meetings. 11.1 Developing professionalism and business etiquette skills on-site and online. Interpersonal skills are the hallmark of a professional. Good manners and a business-like professional demeanor are among the top interpersonal skills that employers seek in job candidates. 11.1a Understanding professionalism and the cause of incivility. The term professionalism and its synonyms such as business etiquette or business protocol, soft skills, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, police, and civility all have one element in common. Civility is generally understood to mean courtesy or politeness. Management professor Christine Porat, who has studied workplace behavior for more than 2 decades, defines rising incivility at work as any rude, disrespectful, or insensitive behavior that people feel runs counter to the norms of their workplace. 11.1b Relating professional behavior to ethics. A broad definition of professionalism also encompasses another crucial quality in a business person: ethics and personal integrity. Ethics is a set of moral principles or virtues. Integrity means following a code of moral values and being incorruptible. 11.1c Gaining an etiquette edge in a networked world. An awareness of courtesy and etiquette can give you a competitive edge in the job market. When two candidates have equal qualifications, the one who appears to be more polished and professional is more likely to be hired and promoted. In the professional environment of the digital era, you must manage and guard your reputation at the office and online. Next, 11.2 Communicating face-to-face on the job. Communicating in person remains the most effective of all communication channels. Face-to-face conversation has many advantages. It is the richest communication channel because you can use your voice and body language to make a point, convey warmth, and build rapport. 11.2a Using your voice as a communication tool. Studies suggests a strong correlation between voice and perceived authority and trust. Respondents typically favor lower pitched voice in men and higher but not sure female voice, pronunciation, voice quality, pitch, volume and rate, and less emphasis and verbal tics. 11.2b Making workplace conversation matter. Face-to-face conversation helps people work together harmoniously and feel that they are part of the larger organization. Following are several business etiquette guidelines that promote positive workplace conversations. Use correct names and titles, cause appropriate topics, avoid negative remarks, listen to learn, give hints and specific praise, act professionally in social situations. 11.2c Receiving workplace criticism gracefully. Most of us hate giving criticism, but we dislike receiving it even more. However, giving and receiving criticism on the job is normal. You need to accept and respond professionally when receiving criticism. The following suggestions can help you respond positively to criticism so that you can benefit from it. First, listen without interrupting. Next, determine the speaker's intent. Acknowledge what you are hearing. Paraphrase what was said. And the last, ask for more information if necessary. 11.2g Providing constructive criticism on the job. First, mentally outline your conversation. Next, generally use face-to-face communication. Focus on improvement, over to help, and let's be specific. Next, 11.3 Following telephone and voicemail best practice. The telephone remains a crucial piece of equipment, whether in office or on the go, thanks to mobile technology. Business communication experts advise workers to pick up the phone when they have a lot of information to convey or when the topic is sensitive. 11.3a Making telephone calls professionally. Before making a telephone call, decide whether the intended call is really necessary. 11.3b Receiving telephone calls professionally. Developing good telephone manners and techniques such as the following will reflect well on you and your organization. 1. Pick up and identify yourself immediately. 2. Be responsive and helpful. 3. Practice telephone confidentiality. 4. Text message carefully. 5. Leave the line respectfully. And the last, explain what you are doing when transferring calls. 11.3c Using smartphones in business. Business is unthinkable without cellular phones. We are mobile and always on. The vast majority of Americans, 96%, own a cell phone today. Smartphone ownership stands at 81%, up from 35% just a decade ago. However, respondents strongly condemned cell phone use during meetings, in movie theaters, and in place of worship. Although Americans view cell phones as distracting and annoying, many do access their own device in group settings. 11.3d Making the best use of voicemail. Because telephone calls can be distractive, many business people make extensive use of voicemail to intercept incoming calls. Voicemail also eliminates telephone tag, encourages message taking, and time zone barriers on the receiver's end and on the caller's end. Next, 11.4 Excelling in professional teams. Needless to say, solid communication and professional skills rule in face-to-face as well as far-flung remote teams. 11.4a Understanding the purpose of teams. It's no secret that one of the most important objectives of business is finding ways to do jobs better at less cost. These objectives helps explain the popularity of teams, which are formed for the following reasons. 1. Better decisions. 2. Faster responses. 3. Increased productivity. 4. Greater buy-in. 5. Less resistance to change. 6. Improved employee morale. And the last, reduced risk. 11.4b Working remotely, the use of virtual teams. Over half of U.S. respondents in one poll now favor a hybrid model, balancing remote work and on-site presence. These changes are profound, so much so that a Stanford scholar believes the United States has entered a new working from home economy, as Spotify executive calls our time the distributed age. 11.4c Recognizing positive and negative team behavior. By displaying positive behavior, team members show their commitment to achieving the group's purpose. How can you be a high-performance team member? The most effective groups have members who are willing to establish rules and abide by them. 11.40 Defining successful teams. However, teams that do not work well together can actually increase fluctuation, lower productivity, and create employee dissatisfaction. Experts who have studied teams' dynamics and decisions have discovered that effective teams share some or all of the following characteristics. 1. Stay small and embrace diversity. 2. Agree on a purpose. 3. Establish procedures. 4. Confront conflict. 5. Communicate effectively. 6. Collaborate rather than compete. 7. Accept ethical responsibilities. And the last, share leadership. And the last, 11.41 5. Making the most of face-to-face and virtual meetings. Many workers have come to rely on video conferencing, predominantly facilitated by the popular Zoom platform and application. To be able to exchange information effectively and efficiently, you will need to know how to plan and participate in face-to-face as well as virtual meetings. 11.5a. Preparing for the meeting. If you are in charge of a meeting, determine your purpose, decide how and where to meet, call the participants, invite them using a digital calendar, and organize an agenda. First, determining the purpose of the meeting. Next, deciding how and where to meet. 3. Selecting meetings participants. 4. Using digital calendars to schedule meetings. And the last, distributing an agenda and other information. 11.5b. Managing the meeting. Whether you are the leader or a participant, it is important to act professionally during the meeting. Meetings can be more efficient and productive if leaders and participants recognize how to get the meeting started, establish ground rules, move the meeting along, and handle conflict. First, getting started and establishing ground rules, and moving the meeting along, and the last, handling conflict in meetings. 11.5c. Concluding the meeting and following up. End the meeting at the agreed time or sooner. The leader should summarize all decisions, assign tasks, and deadlines. One effective technique that encourages participants is round robin, in which people take turns summarizing briefly their interpretations of what was decided and what happens next. 11.5d. Interacting in Zoom, Teams, and other virtual meetings. Virtual meetings are real-time gatherings of dispersed participants who connect with communication technology. These meetings have many purposes, including training employees, making sales presentations, coordinating team activities, and talking to customers. Creating ground rules, anticipating limited media richness, managing turn-taking, and managing the interaction with remote members all achieve the best result during virtual meetings. Thank you everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.